Welcome everybody to this week's weekly update with Boo and Daryl. Hey Daryl, how you doing? How was your weekend?
Yeah, I'm good. The weekend was great. Slowly trying to transition out into the world a little bit and see some friends in a socially distanced way. And Saturday, a friend of ours just got a new boat. We went out with them. Not a huge long trip or anything like that, but went out towards Gambia and just kind of stopped in one of the little bays there and hung out for the afternoon, which was really nice. And ended up going back to their place for some dinner afterwards, which was nice. And Sunday, we ended up going out and playing a little bit of football. It was our nephew's 13th birthday. So that was really nice also. It was great to kind of see everybody. Haven't seen them in a while. Yeah, good weekend.
Nice.
How about yourself?
Yeah, we went down to Crescent Beach. Always lovely out there. I always forget that exists. Such a great spot to go to and tons of room for people to walk through. So that was really nice. Somebody was trying to do some kite surfing, not quite windy enough. We watched him struggle for a good while. He had a few almost pickups with the wind, but just not quite enough to get him up there. So, but he tried. He put in a lot of effort into that.
I heard that's a week-long process that you have to be fully dedicated to if you want to learn that sport. I've got a few friends that do it, and it's not something you pick up on day one.
No. And he had a guy out with a thing to measure the wind, and they were all just kind of iffy. You know, you may or may not get up with this much wind, and sure enough, it just wasn't quite enough for him. You could fly a kite, but you couldn't fly a big kite. With that.
Thanks for trying.
And then otherwise with phase 2 opening up, our gym opened up. So that's where I was 5:30 this morning. And that was a good shock to the system. Been working out throughout the whole quarantine during phase 1 there, but getting back into the whole environment was a good shock to the body. So
yeah, I've not done that yet. So I'll expect I'll have the same experience when my gym opens up.
Yeah. So this week we've got Bill HUNKA on, so we'll cut to him. All right, everybody. So this week we've got Bill HUNKA on, and he's from HashiCorp, great partner of F5's, and we wanted to bring him on to just talk about our partnership and whatnot. Bill, how you doing?
Doing very well, Boo. Thank you. How are you?
Very good, very good. Can you give us a little bit of background on yourself?
Yeah, I've been in the IT industry. You might not be able to see the gray hairs for over 20 years in the Western Canada, Western US market. Joined HashiCorp just a little bit over 3 months ago when the world was a very different time. HashiCorp is doing some amazing things in this world. So very happy to join the team, very rapidly growing organization. And I'm the first team member in Western Canada in the field.
Very cool. Nice. Awesome. So we'll get to a little bit about the partnership, but before we do that, we'll go over some Q&A that we do with all of our guests. So whenever you're ready, I'm going to start a 5-minute timer over on my side here. And we'll get started. Are you ready?
The hot seat. Yeah, ready for the hot seat.
My pressure.
All right, cool. All right, Bill, what was your first computer?
So I'm a kid of the 70s. So the first computer that I was working on in the very early 80s was a Commodore 64, but we didn't own that at home. That was at school. And my best friend, his dad worked for the federal government, Statistics Canada. And so we had an Apple IIe at his house. And so first video game that I played, I think it was like the Canadian version of Oregon Trail on and I got to learn Logo and Basic. And then on the Apple IIe, it was the text version of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh, nice. Awesome. Classic. Cool. Bill, can you tell us about your first job?
Yeah, I mean, first like job, what I'm telling, my wife and I are telling our daughters now who are 15, 13, 11 is like, hey, go get a job. We had a job at 14 and it was working at the local IGA, stocking shelves and putting individual price tags on individual cans of vegetable soup. My first real job, it was up in Whistler working in the hotel industry, working on spreadsheets and integrating reports from mainframes and helping with revenue forecast, a term that's now referred to as yield management. So that was my first real job out of university.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah. What is your favorite spot in British Columbia?
I'd have to say, so I live out in the White Rock area in South Surrey, Ocean Park. And so it's really cool here. Love downtown Vancouver. But my absolute happy spot is the Gulf Islands. So Main Island, Saturna Island down there, absolutely beautiful, and would love to, some retirement dream way down the path would be to work from there permanently.
Very cool.
Spot. Yeah.
Can you name something you've done in quarantine that you wouldn't have done otherwise?
Yeah, even just yesterday. So 3 months in, and all of our girls are working through Surrey schools on remote learning using
Mm.
Microsoft Teams, and they were using Zoom before, but a good pivot and change from Surrey schools. But yesterday I got to work on calculating the circumference and radius of a circle. Hadn't worked on that for quite a while. So and they're in French, so I had to rehash my my old school math skills in French, and yeah, so that's what one of the big focus areas of the past couple months has been, is helping the girls work on their school.
Wow. Yeah, I got stumped with some physics problems this weekend. It's pretty sad.
Yeah.
But name something that you're doing to stay sane during quarantine.
Yeah, so we have a couple of dogs. So my wife and I take walks, try to do that once a day, or very short, like within the neighborhood, just a little drive. But we
Mm.
walk our dog and get out and just try to enjoy, even if it's raining, get out in the rain. But the weather's been pretty nice. So, and we're
Mm.
obviously very lucky here in BC, and trying to stay sane, also watching Dr. Bonnie Henry's updates on a daily basis, taking
Okay.
those 15 minutes and being thankful for where we are here in BC, and seeing the progress that we've been making.
Yep.
Good point.
If you could only eat one dish for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I would say anything in the realm of sushi. If I can customize various versions, I would stick with sushi for the rest of my life, no question.
Yeah,
Cool.
good one.
Bill, do you believe in luck?
Maybe more than luck, I believe in karma. And so
Mm.
being a good person, doing right by folks, is probably more of the mainstay of my, like, try to do right by others, and good things will happen. So that's really what I try to focus on.
Yep.
Hopefully I've been living that for the past 20 plus years, and through my time, I will continue to do so.
Yeah,
Cool.
well said.
Are you a morning person or a night owl?
Yeah, thankfully I'm a morning person. I definitely have to crank up the coffee. This morning the rest of the HashiCorp team across Canada is based in Toronto mostly, and Montreal. So I'm often on 6 a.m. Pacific calls. And so up at 5 a.m. So even during quarantine, putting on, like, I'm wearing my HashiCorp t-shirt today with a hoodie, but usually it's a dress shirt. Just get up going by 5:30 or so, and highly caffeinated to start the morning.
Yep. Fair enough. What is one thing that you've bought in the last while that's made a big impact on your life?
Probably the biggest one, to deal with the in-house networking requirements of all the kids, as well as my wife on her online yoga and doing various workouts. She participates in F45. I know you do a lot of fitness, Boo and Daryl. So making sure that the network works. And I think it was a little bit laggy a couple of seconds ago, and it's because the microwave runs and then my Google Wi-Fi gets conked off for like a couple of seconds. So I've had to upgrade my home mesh networking. And so that was the big investment over the past little bit, a splurge, if you will, to try to get better bandwidth to the 15 plus devices in the house.
Yeah, the reality of work from home. Yes.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Alrighty, Bill. So now that we've gone through the Q&A, can you tell us a little bit about your role at HashiCorp and what HashiCorp does, and maybe a bit about the F5 partnership?
Yeah, for sure. So my role at HashiCorp, I joined to help really become so similar to what I was doing in the past 3-4 years in one of the major cloud providers in their ecosystem. Participated in meetups, helping evangelize and kind of looking at customers with their lens of their as is situation and their to be situation as they look at what a cloud journey looks like. Helping customers to understand what this concept of a cloud operating model could be. So how do you federate your existing on-premise workloads, your private cloud, and we refer to that as tools like the systems of record. So your databases that aren't going to go away anytime soon, and those workloads will likely stay on-prem or in a private cloud. And then how do you federate those with systems of engagement? So as you want to drive those really bursty workloads, and those are into the public clouds by nature. So how HashiCorp is working across the layers of infrastructure. So that's Terraform. Terraform ties in tremendously with the F5 stack. So we've got great collaboration with F5 on the Terraform provider side, as well as up into the security side with a tool set called Vault. And Vault is for secrets management, and now things like being able to have format preserving encryption so that databases can be maintained, but as say a call center agent logs in to a particular portal, they can't view the actual data. It's been redacted into an encrypted fashion. And then up the stack into the networking world with Console, and Console ties in very elegantly with the F5 stack, with Big IP, and also with NGINX. And so there's some really neat tie-ins all through the capabilities. So you guys are a tremendous global partner. We were part of F5 Virtual Agility last week.
Yep.
And just continue to learn. Like you, Daryl, and I have known each other for, I think we were talking about that last week, probably 10, maybe even closing on 15 years, which is really, really cool. And from Daryl, our time with one of the big PC vendors and a great partner in the ecosystem and supplier and visionary. As things progress into this world, there's a space for your existing infrastructure along with this future state with your public clouds. It's how do you federate? How do you have that kind of your what you want to call it, a service mesh? How do you bring these all together, help customers get the most out of open source tooling as well as commercial offerings and commercial support? So whether it's how Terraform ties in with F5, Big IP, with Ansible and Red Hat, like it's all about workflows, not about individual technologies. And so however we can help customers on this path to adopt in a more agile, secure and manageable fashion towards this, like you want to call it CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous delivery, or continuous deployment. How do you get to this GitOps heaven state, right? Of like this is the super state of where everybody wants to be, and so it's a pretty neat place that we're all in right now. Obviously, very fortunate that most of the work that we're able to do is still able to happen remotely. So thankful for that, and whatever we can do to help with customers in the learning, that's really important. And then that's my job, is to just help customers on if there's interest in the commercial side, help them with that side, but get the most use out of the existing technologies or open source tooling that they're using from the HashiCorp capabilities, Terraform, Vault, Nomad, and Console.
Thank you very much, Bill. It's been great having you on.
Yeah, thanks, Daryl. Really appreciate the partnership with F5. And as much as we can do to help customers learning and this journey of DevOps or whatever you want to call it, here to help. And so look forward to working with y'all.
Yeah, same goes with us. Looking forward to it. Thanks, Bill.
Okay.
Thanks, Bill.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
All right. So as always, we've got our subscriber giveaway this week, Daryl.
Yep. So it's been another busy week of people subscribe to the channel. So as always, we thank you very much for that. And yeah, we're going to continue to do the $50 Amazon gift card for any subscribers. So without further ado, I'll draw from the bowl here. This week's winner is Frank Wakeland.
Congrats, Frank.
Congratulations, Frank, and thank you for subscribing.
Cool. And with that, I will remind everyone, if you are subscribing and your privacy is turned on, you'll need to send us a note to let us know you've subscribed, because there was actually a lot of people that did subscribe, but I only actually got to see a couple of the names on there. So it's good for the people who have subscribed and do have their privacy allowing for their names in there. But for all the other people that subscribed anonymously, you miss out on the giveaway.
Yeah, simple note, just send us an email or something like that, and we'll make sure we add you to the draw. But yeah, good point, Boo.
So otherwise, a couple things that I will announce. I just started working on a website. So for everybody that gets an email right now with the weekly update, we'll slowly transition you into looking at the website, but I'll give you more details on that in the coming weeks. But basically all the content that you would normally get from Daryl's email is going to be on the website instead, so you can visit that. Other ways to connect, I started to post our highlight clips onto Instagram if you prefer that way of staying in touch. Created the Booze Hour B-roll channel, so also just putting the clips onto there as opposed to cluttering up the main YouTube channel. And hopefully everybody's keeping up on their guitar practice. We've got one more lesson from Bob. And then otherwise, we have 2 live streams coming up this week. So tomorrow, Tuesday at 10 a.m., we have Peter Scheffler on, or what we'll call him as Cipher King. If anybody remembers the Photoshop job that we did with him during the original Booze Hour, we're going to talk about who's who in the encryption zoo. Peter has been working on a number of things around encryption and some of the recent trends around that. And he also prepared a really cool presentation for B-Sides, which he wasn't able to present with B-Sides postponing. But we'll talk a little bit about that. B-Sides will happen later on this year, so you'll be able to catch him on that. And on Thursday, we have a Booze Hour Community Edition, and we'll have Diraj Goel on that. And I thought he'd be really interesting to have on. Right now, he's working in venture capital. He works with a lot of companies that are doing a lot of digital business and advising companies on how they need to transform their businesses. So perfect guy to have on right now with businesses accelerating their digital transformation. And we can talk through some of the things and trends that he's seeing there.
Yeah. Always interesting guy, and it'll be great to have Peter on this week too. So yeah, 2 very good guests.
And then otherwise this week I filmed the F5 updates outside, just took a walk out and shot that clip there. So you'll be able to see that. Otherwise, we will see everybody next week. Bye for now.
Bye folks.
Hey everybody, just thought we'd take the F5 updates outside this week, just on a little path by my house, and the weather is not too bad. First of all, we've got 2 live streams for you this week. Tuesday, 10 o'clock, we got Peter Scheffler on, Cipher King. He's going to talk through encryption trends of today. We're going to call it Who's Who in the Encryption Zoo. That's on Tuesday, Booze Hour Cloud Edition. On Thursday at 3:30 p.m., I got Diraj Goel. Diraj works in venture capital. Really knowledgeable guy as far as digital transformation and where businesses should be heading into the future. So I thought he'd be a perfect guy to have on. There's also a Big IQ 7.1 lab that has just been updated. I've included some documentation in the GitHub repo for that. Really cool lab. It goes through configuring Big IQ and integrating it into CI/CD pipeline. So you'll want to check that out. There's also a K article that I included on an iApp for Big IQ analytics, and this is an update to the iApp that helps out with CPU spikes that people can encounter once in a while. A couple of my customers have encountered that. So also there's been some attack signature updates for ASM and AWAF to stay on top of. There's also a great article that was written by one of my colleagues, Rick Salsa, on configuring F5 cloud services DNS load balancer with NGINX Plus. Really cool article, covers off global availability using those 2 products, so you'll want to check that out. There's also NGINX App Protect that was just released last week. This is a big release in that it's one of the first services that is taking the value that was traditionally on Big IP and spreading that into data plane like NGINX. This is going to be a big improvement from running mod security on your NGINX instances, so you want to check that out. There's also a new release of F5 container ingress services. This is version 2.0 that was just released. Big release, lots of new features in that. You'll want to check that out. So there was a VS Code extension that was just released by one of my colleagues, Ben Gordon. This helps out with configuring fast templates. If you're not aware of this already, fast templates will be the new way going forward of configuring your F5s. This is AS3 based, so having this VS Code extension is going to really help out. F5 Labs just released their 2019 application protection report. I know that the guys work really hard on this report. They pour into a lot of data and provide a lot of information around application protection, so you want to check that out. There's also the Verizon 2020 Data Breach Investigation Report. Verizon's always done a really great job of this, and they provide a lot of data and a lot of context, so you want to check that out. I've also included an article on how people are using phishing to get around Azure MFA. A really interesting way to do it, it's through authorizing an application through Azure MFA and then leveraging the access that it has. I've also included another article by the Microsoft CTO on zero trust architectures. Interesting article on how he sees things and how they should be configured going forward. So that's all the updates I have for you this week. Please subscribe and like if you haven't subscribed already. and also turn on notifications, and check out the live streams later this week, Tuesday and Thursday. Hope you have a great week, and we will see you next week. Bye.